Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to the VIP series at Riverview Farms here. So I'm working this farm that my uncle left me here in England. And so continuing to service the VIPs, so they've got orders they need. Tomatoes is the big one that's going to take some time, so you can see we're just starting to get some production, even though it's been running for a bit. We've gone overnight and so forth. I finished getting the sorghum complete and into the field yesterday. So I've got all the nearby fields planted with sorghum that we have crops in. We've gotten rid of our potatoes and sugarcane because we've decided we're no longer going to be providing those. So VIPs understand that, and we should not be getting any orders that require any of that coming up in the future. So, as always, let's take a quick look at what we've got. So, we've got raisins and furniture completed, but we've got 4 other items. I mentioned the tomatoes. That's, again, going to take a while. We have wheat in stock. We've got the sorghum growing. And I think the milk is ready as well. So, I've got to wait for the sorghum to grow and the tomatoes to get here. Rather than just move things ahead, I'm going to go ahead and try to get some forward thinking going, because that's part of the ways I proceed quickly through the VIP levels, or as quickly as possible, because at this point, at this level, level 12 and going forward, the orders are getting bigger and bigger. The VIPs kind of want more and more now that they know we can deliver. So the thing I've been focusing on and had in the back of my mind is this canola need over the next 2 levels of over 270,000 liters. So to me, that is an indicator that I should probably do that on my large field. I don't know that we're even going to get enough in one harvest to do that, but the way to start is to at least get going and then get that canola going. And if I need to plant more, then we're closer to it. So I'm going to start that, and I'm just going to get a worker moving on that, and then we'll do some other jobs in the interim. Alright, so last night I went ahead, before I went to bed, and just got this filled up with seed, and we're ready for canola. So we're going to get over to field 42, where we had our barley, and we're going to get the canola moving on that. And then I will come back here and we're going to get our sorghum fields treated, certainly fertilized, and we'll see if they need anything else. But basically all of these fields are sorghum. I should be able to get 79,000 sorghum across all of it, I would hope, but I may not, because I think sometimes that smaller field is only like 30,000. I haven't grown sorghum. VIPs haven't needed it or requested it since I've been here. So the yield on some crops is higher or lower depending on how well it grows and how prolific it is. So we'll just see what happens, but similar to what we're talking about with the canola, first step is to get it in the ground and growing. So we've done that, and we've got that moving, but also we know we can't finish the level 12 orders until we get 47,000 liters of tomatoes, and that's likely going to take several months. So what I've done in the past is I've moved forward, like once I really get what I can done. We're not just going through in each episode just dragging things on. I've been known to skip 6 months sometimes if I need to do that. So this is field 42 if you've not been here before. So it's pretty big, but once again 280,000 liters of canola is a lot. Because if I look here, I only have 207. As I said, the wheat we're okay. We need 94, 96,000, something in the 90,000 range. So I can do that. And then similarly milk, we've got plenty ready to go at this point. So I got going bright and early today. Woke up at 5 a.m. because I've got a lot to do, and I know planting this field takes some time. I've always run into the situation where it ends up going over a day, overnight, and then obviously we have the situation where then I have crop that's taking a little bit more time to be ready. So I'm hoping by starting 2 or 3 hours earlier than I normally do, that we'll be able to get this full field planted. Obviously, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this throughout the day to avoid him stalling out in case he runs out of seed. But, you know, that is what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to let him continue on, and I'm going to go start working on something else. So, as mentioned here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get the field fertilized. So I need to go get my spreader. Yeah, my challenge on the farm here is I've got so many places to put things. You know, my uncle had plenty of sheds built that I keep running into the fact that I forget where I put things. So I was looking at the sheds further back, because that's normally where I have things. Found out that instead I have the spreader here. So we've got fertilizer ready. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this fork because I don't need it right now. And then I can grab the Asaria Scout. Alright, I've got that there. It's been a while since I've had the fork off, but this should be okay to fertilize with this tractor. Just trying to use some of the other equipment I've got. Well, that wasn't great, but it works. But the nice thing is this will give us the best reading we can get. Now we do have 2 fields back here that are grass that we always kind of leave for our cows. So they came that way when I moved on to the farm, and I've just left them that way. These fields have been the ones I've kind of rotated through. We're going to need some grapes in the future too, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But let me get everything unfolded here. Yeah, this may be a bit heavy for this, but I just want to take a look. So my pH value is good. My nitrogen is bad, as I would expect, but the spread on this is pretty significant. And because I'm doing all of these fields at once, which I've not done in quite some time, I should actually be able to get this done fairly quickly. But I want to run around the edge, and I'm just kind of going to go ahead and just move through all the fields together as much as possible as well. So I think that's just going to make it easier rather than focusing on one field at a time. So I'm going to, in essence, do one really big headland around all 4 of these fields. And I'd rather kind of be wasting a little bit off the side than having to redo too much. So, I mean, I don't want to be ridiculous, but at this point, like, I can still see the spread is over there. And so I should be okay. And then we'll head up through what was the sugarcane field until this touch up here. So the field down here, because it was basically my second largest field I've used for a lot of crops, and then lately the 2 up here have been potatoes. And then we'll head up here, and potatoes don't require a lot of fertilizer, so this one has really been pretty low for quite some time, I think. And the sugarcane, because it's like grass and I kind of treated it that way and let it regrow 2 or 3 times, it's also not in great shape. But what I'm going to have to see then is, do I need to lime these fields as well? Because I'm imagining at least some of them will require that, just because of how they've been used. So obviously the one down there was okay, but I don't know about these other 3. But right now, obviously, getting the fertilizer done is what we're focused on. It looks like in the center, because I ultimately didn't end up harvesting those potatoes out, so we didn't use everything as far as the nitrogen content there. As you can see, I'm just worried I'm getting too far away, so I want to be a little extra careful here. The nice thing is, you know, this spreader does great on these tiny fields, and Obviously, even on the big field, we'll get through pretty quickly. But obviously, we got to get the canola in the ground over there first. So, alright. So now we'll come down here, and then that will join us up to the other field, and then we just kind of need to fill in between. So what I'm trying to figure out is, do I want to go up and down? And I think I may, because I think that'll just be better. The challenge is like being able to see where we were and how far over we went. So let's see. So I think I want to basically set my line kind of over here. Let me see. I don't know that I can visually see. Yeah, this is overlapping a bit, but just to avoid, again, a problem. It's not as if we're in that farming state where I'm tight on funds. So I am just going to set the line there, knowing I'm in good shape, and we'll see how everything plays out here as we go along, because this should now fertilize. You know, we're going to have some challenges with trees there. This first line of trees got eliminated at one point when we needed furniture and we needed wood. So if we have more need in the future, you know, I'll continue to take things out between the fields, because this is exactly the opportunity it gives us, is to kind of do something like this. Now what I'll probably do here is move on over, because obviously these fields are cut a little differently, and hopefully this will work. But it looks like we should be fine. So we've got to get a little bit of the area fertilized, but it's still quite a bit. You can see we're over 100 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. So as I said, these fields definitely have used things up. I don't always keep the grass fields flowing, because in this series, kind of less about straight productivity and more about just doing... Oh, whoops, I guess I did have it on. Alright, we're good. It just wasn't starting yet. It looked like it should have, and I didn't think I had turned it off, but it was acting very strangely. But I should be able here to probably want to cut to this side of the tree to not leave anything undone there. And then I think, now I'll turn this off. Or wait, it is off. It's just, this is where having the smaller tractor, you know, this is definitely a challenge for this vehicle. Although it might also be, yeah, having the crop sensor on is slowing us down, because it can only proceed at a certain speed. But we also have a little bit with the power of the equipment. Alright, so we'll go here. It's just uncanny how these are all lining up on trees as a problem, because once again I'm going to hit something there. But as you can see, I think we're going to have to have one more pass, and we're going to have these two fields up here fully done. So once again, I think I'm going to go this way, because then I can hit kind of the edge of the field, but come back as I need to there. So I think I got everything. Well, it looks like I had a little dot, but probably not worth worrying about. But yeah, one more pass up north, and we'll have the upper fields completed, and then we'll probably have one or two more down here that we'll have to come through, because it looks like I'm a little wider in how I ran things over to my left right now. But this is kind of our longest run, going down to the point of the field here near the river, hence the name of this location, Riverview Farms, is the town or the map we're in. haven't turned it off, so we're dangerously stuck on a tree again. But we'll get this going along here, and then we'll take a look at what we need next. Alright, I just wanted to check up on the worker. So I've got them doing 5 headlands just so that they can very easily turn at the end of each field, but you can see just how long this effort takes over there. It's pretty significant. Amazingly, we won't have to adjust here, so this is great. We'll be able to just proceed and get everything done. So it looks like there might be a little bit down below that we'll have to worry about, but yeah, as expected, we're getting everything here. So potatoes are now kind of a bad memory. It was a challenge here. I don't have an issue per se with potatoes, but I have an issue with root crops and things that need giant harvesters when I've got hedges and buildings and fences and everything else around. So that has been something and that has led to that decision of not doing those crops any longer, even though we did in the beginning, because it's just too much and it's frankly not entertaining to do. And at this point, as we press on, my goal here is to hopefully, whether we work all the way through level 20, that's my intent, but I'd like to at least see level 20. This may start getting a little too much, because one of the things that I'm exploring with this mod is, does it become unviable at some point? Because the way the mod works is the bonus payout shrinks as you go along to kind of mimic, I think, the fact that you're just getting better at doing things, so you don't want to get rewarded and really just kind of make it super, super simple to proceed. Alright, so we're good and perfect. Probably the easiest thing is to go here. Alright, so this is pH, so yeah, this field is okay, but these are higher, so they might be okay. Well, no, actually this is higher, because it's kind of that darker green. So let me drive up there. We'll kind of see what it says, but I'll have to get the fertilizer out of the equipment here. Even though I have the sensor folded, it operates as if I still have it on. Alright, so yeah, the nitrogen value is bad, or the pH value is bad, so I want to lime these fields up here. The crops will grow, but we have time. There's not really a reason not to be doing it. So in checking on the situation here, I'm getting a little low on my fuel, so I don't want that to become a problem, because once again, I think I need every moment I can to get everything done here and get this thing planted within a day. And if I suddenly run out of fuel and he's just sitting there for hours, that's not going to help anybody. So we're going to fill up here. Alright, there we go, 737 pounds of fuel. Alright, so we're running again. Now we should be fine. Of course, again, we could run out of seeds, but that's the other thing I was trying to check, is to just see what the consumption is. At this point, we've gotten 10% done, so I'm guessing I will need to get some seeds here into the, or get the planter and get some seeds. I can just run to the store there and pick them up too, instead of driving all the way back to the farm. So I've gone ahead and unloaded the fertilizer I had. Unfortunately, the spreader will not put things back into the silo, so I have to just leave it there and pick it up later, which is fine. Alright, so back here, whoops, I don't need to do anything here, so you know what, I'm not going to worry about this right now. It's obviously going to improve it a bit. Yeah, the way this operates right now, let me again go ahead. Lime is less wide in its spreading capability than fertilizer is, so it'll take more passes to get this done. Lime just in general also obviously takes more volume to get done as well. Try to get this taken care of here. Alright, so just trying to reset my line to kind of the farthest edge of the field here. And then this will let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this work done. And then at that point, I think I'm going to have to either figure out if there's anything else I'm doing or just let the canola finish. Alright, so getting done here. I had some lime left over, so decided to just touch this field up, because that way, since we know we need a lot of sorghum, we got the best chance possible of making sure that we in fact are getting everything taken care of. Don't know if I'm going to need to lime the other field, but if I don't, you know, having this little bit here is going to be fine. I can leave that pallet sitting at the side and so forth. So I'm going to head up here right now. I think I'll leave the fertilizer pallets. I'll leave this in here. We'll see what the future brings with the need here for material. I don't have a lime store on the farm. I certainly have a little bit more room if I wanted to do that, like where we took out the cow barn. We could do some things there, but we'll see how that looks. But that's something to think about in the future. Not really worried about it now. Gone ahead, gotten back here to the farm. We had about 700 liters remaining. We were able to get that field done given the early start, so that was great to see that I do actually have a path that isn't really insane for getting that field done within a day and not having the crops roll over. I'm going to go ahead, since it's still this early, and I'm going to be fertilizing the field over there. But yeah, because it was a bit of a challenge to pull with this lower horsepower trailer, I just think it makes sense to use something with a little bit more giddy up and go, given that we're going to be further away and so forth. So nothing new really to happen there. I don't have much else to share and chat about, so I'm going to go ahead and get that work done off camera. We'll see if that field needs lime as well, and I will get those things done. But at this point, we're in the situation as we tend to be, where we're kind of waiting for the crops to grow, the canola that just got planted and the sorghum, and we're waiting for those greenhouses at the top end of the screen to get completed. We've got another pallet that came out in each one, so we've got another 1,500 liters of tomatoes, but we've got 47,000 in total that we need. So what I've learned, certainly over this time, is trying to jam a million things into one day isn't absolutely necessary, but it's certainly going to be bright for a little while longer, so I'm going to take advantage of that fact and at least get some of the work done on field 42 to give that canola the best growing season it can have. And with that, I'll wrap things up, and I'll see you next time.